Hi everyone, I'm Ariel Lim, and this is Ariel Lim Yoga. So you know who I am, you know what we're doing. Thank you for joining me on the mat today for yoga to loosen up. So if you are feeling a little bit stiff, if you feel like you need to bring some movement into the body, this will be a great practice for you. We are going to be staying pretty low to the floor, but we're going to be doing some more dynamic movements, getting our bodies moving. So we'll start in a nice, comfortable seated position. Anywhere on your mat is fine. Starting to grow heavy along the thighs, the hips, the glutes. Feeling a nice support of the mat underneath you. We'll begin to sit up nice and tall. We'll relax those shoulders down our backs and away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath here, and maybe you close your eyes as you rise your arms up and overhead. The palms will meet and we'll exhale, bringing those hands to heart center. Just taking a moment here to bring awareness to the parts of our body that are feeling maybe a little bit stiff or sore or need some movement. As we move through our practice today, keep your awareness here, noticing any changes, maybe bringing breath to these areas or keeping your movements there. Take a nice deep breath as we rise the arms up and overhead. You can open the eyes, begin to reach up towards the sky. And then we'll grab our right wrist with our left hand and begin to pull our right wrist gently over towards the left. Take a nice deep breath. Maybe you gaze up at the forearm or the fingertips. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, we'll release back through center. And then this time we'll grab the left wrist with the right hand and pull that wrist over towards the right. Getting a nice stretch along the side body. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, let it go. One more breath here. And exhale back to center. We'll sit up nice and tall, begin to reach the arms up, and then we'll take a twist to the right, bringing the left hand outside of the right knee or thigh. Take a nice deep inhale, lifting up along the spine, and exhale to twist. Maybe you gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, come back through center, reaching up one more time. And exhale, take a twist to the left, bringing the right hand to the left knee or thigh. Inhale, finding length along that spinal column. And exhale, twist from the upper part of the body, gazing over that left shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale here in your twist. And exhale, we'll come back through center, reaching up towards the sky. And then we'll take a forward fold, bringing those hands forward, our chest and our forehead to the mat. Take a nice deep breath, breathing into the low back. Maybe you're feeling stiff here. And exhale. On your next inhale, lift yourself up a little bit and start walking your hands over to the left, maybe bringing the right hand on top of the left. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale to fold. On your next inhale, we'll begin to come back up, walk through center and take it over to the right, maybe bringing that left hand on top of the right. Take a nice deep breath, find length in the spine, and exhale to fold. Beautiful. Take a nice inhale. We'll come back up through center. We'll walk ourselves to seated upright position, and then we'll bring our hands on either side of our hips. The fingertips are facing the front of the mat. We begin to press into our hands. The fingertips are spread nice and wide. We're open across the chest, bringing those shoulder blades together. Sitting up nice and tall. Take a nice deep inhale here. Maybe you let your head fall back a little bit. This is our modified camel. Waking up the spine, waking our bodies up across the heart space. Take another nice deep breath. And exhale, we'll lower down to the forearms here. We'll extend the legs out. We'll scoot our glutes towards our heels and we'll begin to lift our legs up, maybe at a 90-degree angle, 90-degree bend. You could stay here if you want to challenge yourself. Maybe you lift those arms up, reaching forward for a boat pose. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, we'll release the feet, gives our shins a nice big hug. We'll do that one more time. And if you didn't do boat pose the first time, maybe you challenge yourself. So begin to lean back as we lift the feet up off the floor. Our shins are parallel with our mat. Maybe we reach forward, holding ourselves up for 3, 2, and 1. Release those feet to the mat. Give your shins a nice big hug. Take a nice deep breath here. Breathe into that low back. And exhale, let it go. We'll cross our ankles and come forward, making our way into a tabletop position in the middle of our mat. Our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Our knees are underneath our hips. Our fingers are spread nice and wide here. Begin to lift up, across the chest, shooting that tailbone back, that crown forward, and we'll move into some barrel rolls. So we'll bring the head and the hips towards the right, waking up that spine, finding movement with our breath, finding a pace that feels good along your spine today. Maybe you exaggerate the movements, or maybe you really need some movement, so you pick up the pace a little bit. Whatever feels good to you. And when you're ready, we'll switch directions. I struggle more with this direction. Maybe you do too. It's all good, my friend. Couple more rounds. And when you're ready, we'll come back through center and we'll do a couple rounds of cat cows. Why not? So inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. And exhale to curve that spine. Bring the chin towards the chest. The back reaches towards the ceiling as you press the ground away. Inhale, drop that belly, lift the tailbone towards the ceiling, lift that chin and chest. Exhale, round the spine for your cat pose. One more round, following your own breath. Beautiful. We'll come back to a neutral tabletop position. We'll bring the big toes to touch. The knees will come out as wide as our mat or as wide as feels good to you today as we sink those hips towards the heels, reaching forward with the fingertips. And then we exhale our chest and our forehead down to the mat, just taking a breath in our extended child's pose in stillness. And exhale. Beautiful. We begin to lift ourselves forward and we're going to do circles. So we're going to move our chest forward, move over towards the right, bring the hips down for our child's pose, and then we'll come back up towards the left, inhaling as we come forward and exhaling to come back. Finding a pace that matches your breath today. Few rounds in this direction, going clockwise. Great way to wake up those hips. And when you're back in your extended child's pose, we're going to take it counterclockwise. So we're moving over towards the right. Inhale. And back towards the left. Inhale, smoothing that chest forward. And exhale to come back. Couple more rounds. Beautiful. We'll come back to our wide child's pose, taking a breath here, letting the forehead rest on the mat. And exhale. We'll come forward onto our bellies, bringing the tops of our legs to the mat. Our hands are in line with our ribs. We tuck those elbows in. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Take a nice big inhale and come up for a baby cobra. Exhale, release. On your next inhale, maybe you come up a little bit higher this time. And exhale to release. One more time. Maybe this time you come up a little bit higher. Oh, beautiful cobras, my friend. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, gaze over that right shoulder towards the right foot. Exhale back through center. Take a nice deep inhale here. And turn to gaze over that left shoulder towards the left foot. Inhale. And exhale back through center. We'll make our way back into our tabletop position. Spread those fingers nice and wide for me, pressing equally into each finger and thumb so we're not putting too much pressure on our wrists. And on an inhale, we're going to kick that right foot back for a moment. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, step it forward between the hands. Maybe you walk that left foot back a little bit. And come into a dragon pose. So we're kind of going forward into this right hip crease. We can bring our hands to the top of our knee. Maybe you find some movement here, just going back and forth into that front leg. It's a great stretch to do if you do a lot of lower body workouts. Beautiful. Take a nice deep breath here. And exhale, we'll frame the front foot and we'll begin to come back, straightening that leg for half split, lifting the toes up off the mat so they point towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath, finding length along the spine, and exhale to fold over that leg. Taking a breath here in our half split. And exhale, come forward into dragon. Take a nice deep breath here. Exhale, we'll move back into our half split. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling to come forward. Lift the chest. Exhale, come back, round the spine over that knee. One more time, coming forward. Inhale. And exhale, split. Take a nice deep breath here. Beautiful. We'll come back forward, frame that front foot, and step back to a tabletop position. And then we'll turn our right foot so that our shin is now perpendicular to our mat. We're going to walk this left foot over, reaching our hand up for a modified extended side angle here. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can lift that foot up off the floor for a modified balancing half moon. Reaching that foot towards the back of the mat, reaching the arm up towards the sky. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, we'll come back to a tabletop position. Bring those big toes to touch and come back for a child's pose. Take a nice deep breath here. Breathe into any areas of tension and exhale. Let it melt away. Take another nice deep inhale. And use the exhale to push yourself back into your tabletop position. Find your foundation. Keep those fingers nice and wide. Take a nice deep inhale. Kick that left foot back. And then we'll bring it forward, stepping between the hands. Maybe you walk that right knee back a little bit, bringing the top of the foot to the mat. Take a nice deep inhale, breathing into that left hip crease. And exhale, push yourself up. Maybe your hands come to your knee. And you find some movement here, just gently pulsing into that left hip crease. Releasing some tension you may have stored here. Another breath. And exhale. We'll release our hands to frame this front foot. And then we'll straighten the knee and lift the toes. Half split. Take a nice deep inhale, finding length along the spine. And exhale to fold over that leg. Getting a nice stretch in the hamstring here. And in the low back. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale to roll forward back into your dragon pose. Inhale, open across the chest. Exhale, we'll come back to our half split. You know the routine. We'll take a few more rounds following our own inhales, coming forward. And exhales, coming back into that half split. Finding a pace that feels good in your hips, in your hamstrings. Maybe you're finding your mobility is improving now that we've done a couple rounds. We'll take one last half split. Inhale, find length along the spine. Exhale, maybe you find a little more depth in this stretch. And then we'll come forward and step that left foot back for tabletop position. We'll pivot the left foot so that our shin is now perpendicular with our mat. We'll bring our right foot back and lift that left arm up for a modified side angle pose. Take a nice deep breath here. Maybe you challenge yourself. You lift that left foot up off the floor for a balancing half moon. I have a wall behind me, so a little bit of assistance. If you have a wall nearby, you can use that as well. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, bring that right hand down. Come back to a tabletop position. This time we're going to keep our knees together. Paint the mat with our hands, bringing the palms face up by our feet, and releasing our forehead to the mat for a child's pose. Taking a few breaths in your balasana. Beautiful. We'll come up to a kneeling position now. We'll place our hands on our hips and we're going to move into a modified camel pose. So we'll press our hips forward as we bring our head back. Staying here with the chest open, bringing the shoulders together. Take a nice deep breath. We'll hold for 3, 2, 1. We'll come back down and take a child's pose just to counteract that back bend. One more breath. We'll come back up to our kneeling posture. If the modified camel was enough of a challenge for you, that is fine. If you'd like to move into camel, we can do that. We'll turn to the side here so you can see what it looks like. We're going to have our hands on our hips, pressing the hips forward, letting the head come back as the back curves. We're curving from the upper part of the back. We don't want to put too much pressure on that low back. And then you can reach for the heels. Trying to keep the knees together. We'll hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly come back up and we'll move into our child's pose one more time here. Take a nice deep breath, breathing into that low back. And exhale. Let your stress just melt away here. Maybe you find some movement, swaying side to side. Beautiful. We'll bring our hands in front, cross the ankles, and sit back as we extend the legs out, or however you find your Dandasana or staff pose. The legs come out straight. We bring our hands on either side of our hips, pressing into the mat, kind of like we did in our modified camel earlier, opening across the chest. Take a nice deep breath and exhale. Beautiful. We'll bend this right leg, bringing the feet to, or the right foot to the mat, and we'll step over the left. We'll tent our right fingertips behind us as we lift the left arm up on an inhale and exhale to bring that left elbow outside of the right knee for a twist. Take a nice deep breath, finding length along the spine as you lift the crown up towards the ceiling. And exhale, twist, gaze over that right shoulder. Maybe in this twist, you're able to go deeper than the twist that we went in earlier. Maybe you're feeling a little more loosened up. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, we'll come back through center, extend the right leg, and then we'll bring that left foot to the mat and step over the right thigh. We'll tent the left fingertips behind the low back and inhale to lift that right arm up towards the ceiling. We'll exhale to twist, bringing that right elbow outside of the left knee. Take a nice deep breath, lifting up along that spinal column. Exhale, twist, wring it out, gaze over the left shoulder. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, we'll come back through center. We'll extend both legs, find a bend in the knees here. And inhale to lift the arms up and overhead, reaching towards the sky. And exhale to lead with the chest, taking a forward fold, letting the hands find their resting place wherever they land. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, relax. Breathe into the low back. Maybe after a few breaths here, you can straighten the legs out a little more. Maybe you grab the feet, pulling with the biceps to get more of a stretch in the low back, in the low side body, in the hamstrings, the calves. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, we'll slowly make our way to our backs. We're winding down here. Give your legs a nice big hug. Maybe you rock side to side. Beautiful. You can extend the left leg out straight. Let it rest on the mat. Hug that right knee in. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, gently guiding that right knee to the left. You can extend the right arm or cactus the right arm. Maybe gaze over towards those right fingertips in your supine twist. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, letting go as we rinse that spine. Take a nice deep breath here. Then exhale, come back through center. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Rolling out that low back on the mat. Beautiful. You can extend the right leg out onto the mat, holding that left knee in. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, guiding that left knee over towards the right. You can extend the left arm or cactus it, whatever feels good, or depending on the type of space you have at home, we'll make it work. Maybe you gaze over towards those left fingertips. Take a nice deep breath. Exhale, enjoying this final bit of movement in the spine in our practice. One more inhale. Final chance to loosen up. Exhale to let it go. Beautiful. We'll come back through center, this time extending our legs out towards either corner of the mat. Finding your Shavasana, your palms facing up towards the ceiling. Take a nice full breath through those toes, up the legs, through the torso, up towards the crown. And as you exhale, release the weight of your body fully, completely into the support of your mat beneath you. Take another nice, full, cleansing breath. And as you exhale, feel your body become like jello, nice and loose and relaxing here. Return to your natural breathing and enjoy your Shavasana. Slowly begin to find movement in the fingers and the toes, bringing your awareness back into this room, onto your mat, into your body. When you're ready, choose whichever side is calling to you today, using your lower arm as a pillow. Take a moment here to scan your body. Notice your energy and how you feel. And extend gratitude to the self for coming to the mat today and doing something kind for yourself. Showing yourself some love. Keeping your eyes closed, your gaze lowered. We'll make our way to a comfortable seated position, any seated position of your choice today. Sitting up nice and tall. Relax those shoulders down. Unclench the jaw. Relax the space between the eyebrows and the forehead. Take a nice deep breath, rising those arms up and overhead. The palms meet. And we'll exhale the hands to heart center. Open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today for yoga to loosen up. I hope you are feeling loose and mobile and ready to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. And as always, from my heart to yours.